everybody, Patrick here. I know it's been a while since you've heard me. I have a lot of explaining to do. I understand. Know this. I'm stupid and I've severely injured myself. I can barely walk. My wrist hurts. I can't type very fast or use my computer very efficiently. This week I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas. I'll be doing 6 shows this week at the Little Rock Looney Bin. Next week I'll be in the Oklahoma City Looney Bin. 6 shows as well. Come out and see me if you're in any of those areas. Aside from that, I just have to apologize. I'm sorry for the infrequent content. I have a lot of stuff to talk about. Hopefully there'll be more podcasts coming out by this weekend. If not, just call a lawyer, ask him if you have any legal right to sue me, put the phone down, go outside, load a gun, stick it in your mouth, and end it. You lose. Just kidding, everybody. But listen, what you're about to hear is a show I did my first week while I was doing vlogs. If you're on my main YouTube channel, you know I've been doing these joke vlogs, and there are more of those coming. I have been recording shows. I just literally haven't been able to bring myself to get editing and recording those vlogs. Hopefully that'll resume this week while I'm here in Little Rock. But what you're about to hear is a little podcast about an hour long I did with my feature act that week. His name is Chad Zumock. A lot of stuff was going down. A lot of drama. I forget what we even talked about. I think Gabby Petito and some other stuff. I don't know. Have a listen. I hope you enjoy it. I got some stuff coming out on Overdose today as well that has yet to be published. Please enjoy that. Again, sorry for the delay on the podcast. You know how this road stuff goes, but there is more coming. Thanks for your patience. I love you all. You're my children. Call your dads. None of that makes sense. Bye.
Hey, Patrick Melton. I'm Chad Zumock.
Do you see why we check levels? Now you're screaming. Why are you going into a whole different character now?
Nobody gives a shit.
Oh, my God.
It's podcasting.
Now I understand Kevin Brennan's side of it.
Oh, too soon.
Hi, everybody. We're doing a co-cast, so if you're listening to my podcast, Nobody Likes Onions, this is Chad Zumock. I'm working with him this weekend here in... Where are we? Tulsa, Oklahoma.
We are in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but I will say this about you, Patrick Melton.
Explain to your audience who I am, because, you know.
Patrick Melton, I knew who he was. I knew your name. I just knew it from somewhere. I don't know why.
Yeah, you're in the biz.
And then Earl Skakel goes, you're working with my boy, Patrick. You're going to love this dude.
I love how I'm his boy, and I've literally never met this guy.
He said he never met you, but he loves everything you do. So
just bullying a minute.
He goes, you're in good hands. You guys are going to be fast friends, best friends. And I go, okay. So I met you and you're cool. We have the same, and you're funny.
The energy. Yeah.
It was just like, okay, I like this dude. He's a good dude. So Earl was right. He called his shot, and you never met Earl. I've met Earl a million times.
Yeah. I don't.
How did you never meet Earl?
I don't know. What do you mean, how did you never meet
He's
Earl?
always
There's
around.
7 billion people on the planet who have never met Earl Skakel.
But Earl's always hanging out. He's always out.
Now you're holding the mic away and you're being quiet. You know, This is just...
What do you want me to do?
Now you're screaming, you know. Back it up. When you don't have headphones, it's tough.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I never met Earl. He... I do this whole running bit on my show where I just keep... tormenting this idiot Ty Rivera, this comedian who just goes around lying about everybody. He's the most toxic motherfucker in the business.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's probably not true.
He follows me on Twitter, so
I mean, he's not up there with like Harvey Weinstein, but if he had any clout, he probably would be.
So he doesn't rape women?
No, I don't think so. Well, you know, I can't speak for what he does in his spare time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Earl, I guess, just started.
Hey, just for the record, Ty, I don't know you. Don't unfollow me. I'm just listening.
You don't want to lose a follower. You're like, look, we need everyone we can get.
Yeah.
No, but it's been a fun weekend. I think we've had. You saw me Wednesday night was my first time headlining in a year, and it was really fucking rough. I beat myself up for 24 fucking hours.
I watch you. Trust me, I've been there. I've seen it. Yeah. And I know what you're doing, and it's just like you just got to do it.
Well, if you do, like, if you have a bad show as a comic, like you just don't. The only thing that can make you feel good again is like a good show.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not like if you finish at 11 p.m. at night, you can just head to another show and knock it out. You got to wait 24 fucking hours to get your medicine.
What was funny is I saw you on stage. You're like self-doubting and like, oh, I'm bombing. You're calling your shit out. I go, dude, you're actually doing okay, but you're making it worse than what it was.
Yeah, well, that's just being an 18-year comic. Like my okay is better than most open micers' best.
Yeah,
hopefully.
But to your defense, you did a fucking 180 the next day.
Yeah. I came back. For people that don't know, on my YouTube channel, I'm like doing this daily vlog where I'm showing clips and stuff from every show that I do, like some crowd work. But I'm also like making myself work on bits. And if I tell my podcast listeners that I'm going to do that, they'll expect it, and then it makes me do it. So I'm literally having to sit down with my notebook and go over my jokes. But yeah, it was a totally different night and day. Thursday, I got my shit together. I was like, I gotta know jokes.
But no, as like a football player, they every given Sunday you made the adjustments you needed to make, and then you came out swinging. I go, okay,
yeah.
I could tell you're a good comic.
It was 100% better than night. But this is legit. Like on Wednesday night, I got up there several times and like blank. Like I know I have 3 hours of jokes, and I couldn't think of a joke.
You didn't have that repetition.
Yeah, it's a muscle. It really is a muscle memory.
Yeah,
because when we get in the swing of it, when you're in the thing of doing shows every night, while you're on stage, you can think about 20 other things while you're doing your set and not what you're doing.
Because last week I was in OKC, which will be when are you going to be there?
3 weeks. Yeah,
3 weeks. What's the dates?
Let's plug them. 26th through 29th.
Go see Mr. Patrick Melton.
27th through 30th.
And I was just there, but before that I was in Sarasota with Derek Richards, and I'm like, I'm fresh. I'm good. I know I can fuck around. I know where to go.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing it. But you took a year off, so
yeah.
Of course, it's going to be like that.
I didn't want to come back. I might take another year off.
I want to take me too. Actually, I want to take the rest of my life off.
Oh God, yeah.
From living,
it's been a weird week. I will say that.
I'm ready to leave Oklahoma, Patrick.
Is this your first time ever working Oklahoma?
Yeah, when we start doing stand-up comedy, I mean, you've done it like a year longer than I, 2 years longer. You want to get in these clubs, and I got obsessed with getting in the loony bins. I was like, I got to get in.
Really?
It was driving me nuts. Like this guy would not answer, and finally he did, and he goes, "I'll bring you in to audition to headline." And so I was so obsessed, like from 8 years ago, that I did that, and that's why I'm here.
This was the end goal.
It was the end goal.
That's when you look back, and this was you made it, Mecca.
But it's like the hot girl who said it doesn't want anything to do with you, but you want the hot girl. Like, why are they saying no? Am I ugly? Like, what's the problem? So that's why I'm here.
I don't own a mirror. Is there something wrong?
Yeah. So I was like, yes, fucking yes, let's do this, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah, and we're getting the broad end of a dildo this weekend because the Tulsa State Fair or the Oklahoma State Fair.
Let's give them a plug.
Is in town.
Yeah.
Did you hear the guy Thursday night? The black guy was telling me like all the black people go to the fair to fight.
Really?
This isn't racist because a black guy said it.
Yeah. I know race is an issue now in the country.
Jesus, I had 2 white women on Thursday call me a racist. One of them had a black husband who was dying laughing the whole show. She tried to get him to leave, like, let's leave, this is rude. And he's like, no.
It's so retarded.
Yeah, I don't know when it, like,
I have zero like anger or hate for anybody. I don't give a shit. If you're cool, you're cool. I don't care what you are.
Right.
So this whole race thing right now is just, what is this? What is going on?
It's so weird because if you live in LA or New York, and we've both been out of that for a bit.
Sure.
But when you're in those cities, it's very easy to get. I'll never forget this. When I lived in New York and all the Trump stuff was ramping up, and all my LA friends and New York friends, I don't know about you, I don't block people on Facebook. I don't go, the option for show me less posts like this and all that kind of stuff, I never do any of that. I don't fuck with my algorithm.
Okay.
I want it to show me everyone's everything. I want to know who's crazy, who's not. Nothing bothers me, so I never get like, oh, I don't want to see any more of this. I want to see it. I want to see what everyone's posting. I need to know who's nuts and who's not. So I think a lot of people, they tailor that algorithm, you know?
Right.
And then when you live in New York and LA, I have friends and stuff, and they go like, who would vote for Donald Trump? It's like half the country. Half of them.
Yes.
Half.
A lot.
And it doesn't matter which election you're talking about. Half.
Dude, you're originally from Florida.
Yeah.
I live in Florida. They
Tampa.
They love the fucking guy there. It's bottom line.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I'm sure it's a little mixed, just like everywhere else. I'm sure it's red heavy.
Yeah,
but it's like these people who go like, I don't know what's happened in the last 20 years because we're both about the same age too. But like something's happened where we can't handle people with different opinions.
Yeah.
Like I remember my dad talking politics and stuff. Like the neighbor, he thinks da da da, and then they would go out and have a beer together. Now it's like I've literally had friends like unfriend me if you like. I'm vaccinated, and I just say that I don't think anybody should be made to be vaccinated. I think that's insane. We don't live in that country.
Right.
Also, that's what is. I mean, Biden can try to do whatever the fuck he wants. You can't make everyone get vaccinated. You can't.
Right.
It's not going to happen. And
they're trying.
But people lose their mind like unfriend me or I'm out. And it's just like, what? Because I said I believe in the current law. Like, you know what I mean?
And I have the antibodies because I had COVID. Apparently, I got an antibodies test. So
yeah,
my antibodies are stronger than your vaccine. So why are
the study that came out of Israel a couple weeks ago was 2.5 million people. Then people with the antibodies are 7 times less likely to get COVID than people who have the vaccine.
So what's the problem? Why can't I say I have the antibodies?
Well, you're not allowed to quote certain science.
Yeah.
It's just we've just fucking lost our minds.
It's just insanity. I mean, but no, being in Florida and like I'm like you, I'm a middle guy. I don't give a shit. I just call it common sense and logic.
Yeah, I just don't think anybody should be able to tell anybody what else to fucking do. Like,
put this in your body. You put what is it? It doesn't work. I mean, it kind of does, maybe sometimes.
Meanwhile, we're trying Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein for putting things in people's bodies without their permission.
Yeah,
I thought you guys didn't like that.
Yeah, I thought that was a thing. Like, it's a weird time to live in, and I more or less, in my opinion, like I just call out logic, and I think people they're so scared of like being canceled or not being looked
Logic is racist.
Yeah. Or looked at as cool or not going along. And I've done this thing. I've said this on my podcast a million times. I was kind of cool in high school. I was at one point. So I know what it doesn't matter. I'm in my 40s now. I don't care if people think I'm cool anymore. I don't like.
Nobody's cool after like. Also, like who wants to spend energy trying to be cool? Like,
I know. Fonzie was cool.
I'm dying.
Yeah, you're dying.
But besides the difference of opinions everybody has now that's like so polarized, I think the emotion behind it and the energy behind it is far greater than it used to be. We really like dig our heels into something and then that becomes our identity. And we have to like, I don't know how many fucking friends I have that like every day post about getting vaccinated to people, like some meme or some article. Like, come on, everybody, get vaccinated. It's like, you're so mentally ill, I don't think you understand. Like, do you have a ton of friends who are refusing to get vaccinated? Who are you talking to? Because it's just your echo chamber of garbage.
Sure. You're cheerleading.
So, like, I imagine that all the people you haven't unfriended yet are vaccinated. So who are you screaming at every day? Like, it's not... It's...
Well, at the topic of conversation, your listeners might not know, but I do a podcast with Kevin Brennan.
Yeah,
and we're
gonna get into it.
We're at odds right now, to say the least. But he wants everyone to get vaccinated, which
Kevin does.
It sounds crazy because he built his fan base through this right wing Anthony compound
media,
but he thinks everyone should be vaccinated. I'm like, I don't know. I think it's stupid. I have a feeling Kevin watches one news channel and he's just being fed this stuff. And it drives him crazy. I'm not vaccinated.
Well, also, again, the people, no matter which side you're on, whether you think everybody should be vaccinated or not, we can all agree you are never going to get everybody vaccinated. That's not going to, like, use your brain. Like, you're never going to get everybody.
Right.
Never. So stop.
Yeah. But
and let's move on to like another solution or option. But they don't want to do it. It's like, well, let's just get everyone vaccinated. It's like, you're not going to do it. What else? What else do you got?
Yeah.
But they can't get past that. It's like, no, you're not going to. That's not going to happen though. So,
but here's the thing: if you're vaccinated and I'm not, why do you give a fuck? Like, what's the problem?
Well, because it turns out it's not working as well as they thought.
Yeah. It's a shitty vaccine. It's not that good. It's not that effective.
Either
the measles vaccine's pretty good.
Look, either it's not effective against the variants or it wears off way quicker than they thought it did. I saw a thing on CNN the other day that said that's wearing off after 4 months. It's down to 20%. So, like...
But now I hear cases are way up, and we're still, like...
Where? They're
from
down
last
everywhere.
year.
No. Oh, way more... We've already had more coronavirus deaths this year than all of last year.
So the shutdown was stupid. It was just a retarded...
I just think our government or the people in charge, it's like we have this weird thing where we're like, well, they're the experts. Which it's like, they don't really know what's going on either. And I'm not saying like doctors aren't smart. There's brilliant people, but this is an unprecedented. We don't know what the fuck is happening, and none of these guys can ever backpedal or admit they were wrong or we thought it was this, but it's not that. They have to just keep doubling down on the garbage they've spewed.
But you can admit there are bad doctors, like bad cops, bad lawyers, bad.
Yeah, of course.
Bad comedians.
There are bad people.
Bad people.
And people have occupations.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, yeah, of course, there's bad everything. There's bad comics. There's bad, like, I mean.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know where we get this thing of, like, we can't.
Just because they have a PhD does not mean they're a piece of shit.
Also, the people that can't even wrap their head around why people wouldn't want to get a vaccine. It's like, for 20 years, you've screamed about how the pharmaceutical companies are garbage, liars, manipulators, ripping people off, getting people addicted, making poison.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And then they're like, come on, the good people at Pfizer want you to... It's just like,
the great people at Johnson & Johnson, they want to help.
Yeah, it's just fucking... I understand the hesitancy. I'll just say that. Yeah. And I think if you say like, I don't understand why people wouldn't want to get it, you're lying. Or your brain doesn't work. Like, and again, I'm vaccinated, so I don't want to get mail.
Well, listen, I believe, I kind of look at, I'm not a dummy, but I kind of look street logic. I go, all right, if you're overweight, maybe you're old, yeah, take your precautions.
So I got it.
There you are.
Both.
Yeah, and then, I get that, but if you're young, there's like, if you look at the data, the kids aren't doing anything. Like, so I don't know what.
No, the 500 kids have died of COVID in their entirety. Half of those kids had leukemia. You know what I mean?
It's like, always another thing.
Yeah, the comorbidities get lost in the data.
The one person I do know that died. They had cancer, but they also had COVID. So they just tracked it under COVID. It was like, all right, let's throw it under the COVID statistic.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as long as it's like an assist.
Yeah.
In basketball.
Yeah, it really is.
But I've known, I have 3 or 4 friends who have had a parent or two die.
Yeah.
So I'm not a denier. I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
Either am I.
I mean, he was 80 years old, you know? And when you look at the data, it's like 80% of the people are over 70, 75. It's like stop everybody.
They're going to die
down.
from the common cold at that point.
And we also don't track, we go 700,000 people dead. It's like, well, again, how many of those people over 85 would have just died this past year?
Right.
Too? Like,
right.
We don't, like, we're just,
they would have found something to die from. This is just another thing at this point.
And the narcissism involved with you thinking, if my neighbor had just had a mask, no one would have had to die. It's like, okay.
I'm an NBA guy. Well, I used to be. And I watch these NBA
weird
games.
Because you're short.
Oh,
I didn't know
Patrick,
they drafted people.
Yeah, so I was watching.
We could probably get off the ground the same height, though.
That's true.
I'm a way bigger dude.
Once upon a time, I used to be able to jump.
Yeah,
true story. But now I'm
I jumped once. And I napped for
what was
a week.
It like?
Yeah.
You napped for a week?
Kissed the sky, and then I flew too close to the sun.
So I was watching an NBA game. These guys are all vaccinated, but they're all wearing masks. I'm like, what are we doing? It's just like...
Singles tennis. Where they're 30 to 60 feet apart, they have to wear masks.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like, what is happening?
You're literally complicating your way of life. Like, life's hard.
Yeah.
I struggle at life, but why throw more obstacles in it? Why?
Well, they do this thing, too, where they go, like, the data's in. The masks don't hurt your breathing at all. It's like, tell that to me in a Costco.
Yeah.
Because I'm walking up and down the aisles pushing a heavy cart, and I'm fucking I can't breathe through this thing.
You literally can't breathe. Like,
what do you mean that something in front of my airways doesn't impede my breathing? You lie. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, you tell kids not to put bags over their head. Well, that's plastic. It's like, put enough layers of mask.
Yeah. So you're saying, like, you're you're part of the statistics of getting COVID and dying, and then they take away your breathing.
Yeah, I just don't.
Which is a respiratory disease.
I just wish there was a little more humility from the news and doctors where they're just like, we don't really know. Because they figured out now that washing hands doesn't seem to be important anymore. Wiping down all your groceries outside your house and leaving them for 3 hours, like they told us all to do last year. Like
we're
insane shit.
Doing elbows to each other instead of handshakes.
As if that's... Now we're doing the back of hands. Like germs can't live on the back of hands.
By the way, Seinfeld and Howie Mandel invented that.
The
fist bump.
I think black people probably.
The African American community.
You don't think black people were dapping and fist bumping before Howie Mandel?
Okay, I'm interested. I love.
I think this is another case of you whitewashing history,
Patrick. I'm into point counterpoint debates.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to take you on this one because you might be onto something.
Will you find me a video of Howie Mandel like doing that in the 80s? Because I know they did it in the 80s.
Sure,
like with the rap community.
Right.
So
maybe I'll watch some Def Comedy Jam later and see what's going on.
Is Howie on that?
No, I'm just talking about like the Joe Torre era.
Okay. I mean, I wish we could go back and find the first. Is that a dap though, straight on? Or is a dap only the
there was the
over-under?
fist bump, the dap. I don't know when the dap
like
came
we're
in.
fucking.
Well, I know the dap's
slot
big on
machines.
I've done enough COVID shows where the dap is in. It's fucking money. And the elbow bump.
But this is also, you can tell that nobody's actually like if you were really all these people who are out like. And even still here in Oklahoma, there's no mask mandate. Nobody's wearing masks in stores.
You can still smoke cigarettes in bars in Oklahoma.
Right. So, like, a woman, every once in a while you get somebody come into a show wearing a mask, and it's just, like, silly because they lower it to talk to you and to eat. And it's just like, and you're shaking hands, you're sitting 2 feet from strangers. It's like, if you were really worried about this, if you were really worried about it, you wouldn't be out.
Right.
You wouldn't be doing this. Because last year I was a nut. Last year I got paranoid. CNN got in my head, and
So how'd you come around?
Well, once the data started trickling in, and the news.
But how'd you find the data? Because there's people out there that are just watching CNN, and they don't.
Well, it's like if you just check the number. Like all CNN does all day is tell you about how kids need to wear masks in school, and the hospitals are filling up with kids, and it's like go look at a chart of the children's deaths. Nothing's happening.
But what made you do that? How did you not? Because there's people
I always do that kind of.
They literally just watch CNN, and that's what they believe, and that's why we're at.
Well, for 6 months we didn't know because we just didn't know how the virus. We didn't remember there were 6 months we didn't know if it was airborne or not. Yeah. We didn't know. Again, we thought we had to wash our hands. We couldn't touch anything, doorknobs and stuff. It turns out that stuff's not really how this thing's getting transmitted.
Right,
and it just like. Yeah, for 6 or 8 months, I was careful. I came out and did shows and stuff. When I was here last year, I didn't shake anybody's hand. I wore a mask. There was mask mandates inside at that time. And I'm happy to follow all that stuff. I'm happy to be cautious and stuff. But once it's out that this isn't doing anything anymore, I'm not interested in just going through the motions of like...
Let's just keep this thing going.
Virtue signaling. And I feel like they've eradicated all the precautions and stuff that you can't outwardly tell. Like, if I don't have a vax card to hold up or you can't see me wearing a mask, those are things like you can tell who's on your side physically by seeing them. Or, hey, everybody in this restaurant's vaccinated because there's a mandate. So we know that the good people are in the restaurant and the bad people are out eating on the sidewalk. It's just like picking teams and sides. Yeah. And you see what they're doing. Like all ramping up to the election, I think, is when I got tired of it. Because it was like...
they definitely politicized it.
When Fauci just started flip-flopping and not... When he said hydrochloroquine was dangerous and stuff, and this is an inert drug that's been given out for 30 years. And by the way, now given out in every hospital in the United States as a treatment for COVID.
Yeah.
But Trump said it, so we all had to just super hard push against it immediately. It's like...
Well, I was talking to a comedian friend. I won't name his name because he doesn't like his political views out there.
Yeah.
I talked to him earlier today, and he was saying that the problem is Trump. He agrees with a lot of things Trump's done, but he's so polarizing, and he recklessly says things, and it fucks up.
He's a blowhard.
Yeah, and it's a problem. And he doesn't want him running in 2024 because it's just craziness. And I know people that are lifelong Republicans that voted against him because they wanted craziness to go away, but it's not going away.
Right. I think that people thought like, oh, I don't think another 4. Well, I say another 4 years of Trump wouldn't. The Trump, yeah, I guess I don't fucking know, but I'm having a stroke.
Just remember you have 2 shows.
I don't know what I'm trying to fucking say. I guess I'm not interested. I couldn't vouch for Trump's character.
No.
I'm sure he's shady as fuck.
Sure.
I'm sure Biden's shady as fuck. I'm sure every politician that ascends to a level that is so grandiose and you're so narcissistic to think I could even be president, you're deranged and you've done a lot of shady shit to get there. A lot of handshake deals, a lot of fucking bad
Barack
shit.
Obama, all of them. Shady deals.
None of them are good people.
Handshakes.
Clintons,
funders,
all of them, Bushes, all of it. It's all twisted on both sides. But what I'm interested in is like policy, the economy, how things are doing. And I don't know what metric you want to lay out and challenge Biden and Trump on where Biden's doing better.
Yeah.
You know, we again, this whole thing, like Biden and Kamala both during the election, I'll never take that vaccine that was developed. I'll never take that vaccine. Now they're shoving it down your throats.
How do you ignore that?
Which is it, liars? And by the way, I'm on the side that the vaccine's safe for most people and probably a good thing. But that means you politicized it back then. You'll lie just to get anything you want
That's
done.
a fact.
So how should we trust you for anything?
That's a fact. They will never take the vaccine when it was under Trump's term.
Yep.
But now you have to take it or you can't get an organ.
Right. You told us not to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, for the people who like, I just don't understand how anybody could not take the vaccine. It's like, because the same people telling us to take it told us not to take it.
Yeah.
That's why. Like, because everybody's a fucking liar. That's why.
A lot of lying. Like I was always, I told growing up not to lie, but that's the way to live in 2021. You have to lie. Just lie.
Right.
Lie about your
credits. You have to go along.
Go along. Lie about your credits. Lie about stories on stage so you can get another Netflix special. Lie about like what actually happened in the machine.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I thought that was collaborated. Didn't he have like classmates and stuff come out and from that trip?
You can say whatever the fuck you want. This is coming from me, Chad Zumock, by the way.
Yeah. Shots fired. And they were from a MiG.
With all due respect, yeah, it was a MiG-42. I was. It's Red Dawn. I'm taking down some people here. Shout out Bert Kreischer.
I like Bert. Bert's all right.
Yeah,
what did he do? What did he do to you? What did Tom Segura do to you?
Tom's never done anything to me. But Tom's a big let's play the Hollywood game situation. But listen, Bert is I'm sure if you're doing well, he's a good friend. But if you're not, he'll back the fuck off.
Well, I'll say this. I've never done well. And Bert's always been nice.
Yeah.
But, I'm also not opening up for him on tour. So
sure, either am I.
So Thursday when I recovered and had a good show, I get off stage and I'm anxious to tell you about the story about the 2 white women who were angry at me. But you were preoccupied with some drama.
Sure. Yes, I was in a...
I'd like to. I've never met Kevin Brennan either.
Oh,
so I don't have a dog in the fight.
Sure.
I'd like to mediate this whole situation. Really, I'd like to be brought in. First
and foremost, I will say this: Kevin Brennan's one of the funniest human beings I've met in my life. Let's just put that out there. And I would love to have you as the mediator. Like
you showed me this documentary on him. He's so. I can tell what he's doing. He wants to fight. He wants to antagonize people. But I like that. It's funny.
Sure. Yeah.
And I feel like if he ever tried that with me, I'd just laugh and walk away.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I was friends with him, he probably would try that with me because it seems like he tries it with everybody.
Yeah, and I think we gained some trust in one another. And
you've done a podcast with him for 3 years?
We're going on 2.
Okay.
Mutual, but I've been on his podcast for like 4 years, just as a guest, and then we just started doing it together. And there's mutual respect there, I think. But Kevin puts drama before friendship. So everyone's off the limits. Neil Brennan, his brother, is his public enemy number 1. So now he's going after me.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. So
did something happen between them? Did Neil do something?
Well, Neil, he wants to be in Hollywood, and Kevin doesn't.
Right.
And that's that simple. Like Neil Brennan will do anything to be in Hollywood. Like he wants he'll play the game. He'll say what he has to say. He's a feminist. He's a vegan. Whatever you have to do.
Right.
I voted for Biden. I just want to be in the game. And Kevin's at this point where I did all that shit. Doesn't work. Go fuck yourself. So they're the polar opposites where he's anti-establishment and Neil's like.
But you get along with that. You like that.
I do. I'm attracted to because I got
independent thought.
I got into comedy to be like fucking. We're in the condo right now. I'm looking at Sam Kinison. I'm looking at rule breakers. I want outlaws. I like punk rock. I like going against the system, saying what's unpopular. And I've always been that way. And I at one point I was playing the game. I was just trying to get ahead.
I get it. You're less Britney Spears, more Hanson.
Yeah, I'm Hanson.
alt punk. I get it.
But I'm attracted to rule breakers, problem. Ever since I was a kid, like in school, the bad kid in school, that's the guy I'd be friends with. The guy who's getting detentions, I go, that guy's fun. And it's the same with my adult life. I go, oh, Kevin Brennan's causing problems. People hate him. I go, that guy's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I gravitate towards those people. But at the same time, I was trying to like get shit done. I'm like, then I moved to LA, and I don't want to tell the story over again because everyone's heard it a million times. Patton Oswalt came after me. And I realized how fake everyone is, and everyone's full of shit.
Yeah.
So I put full on Kevin Brennan, which has alienated me from people and comedians. Like I could be a little bit further ahead in my career if I would have just played the game, but I don't. I don't want to do it.
Well, it's gonna be. I don't know how this country's gonna go. It's weird to me because the people who are screaming the loudest about follow the science are the people, and I don't want to get off into some weird gender tangent. I don't know why we discuss it so much in this country. It's insane. All the LGBTQ stuff. Like, look, I have lesbian friends. I have gay friends.
Sure.
I don't want to be the guy who's, oh, I have a gay friend. Like,
I have a black friend.
You used to. Then the police shot him.
He's no longer with us, but he was a beautiful man.
But we were in this weird thing where it's like, no, you have to say that a man who transitions to become a woman is exactly the same as a biological woman who was born a woman. And it's like, I feel like if you deny that at all or challenge that at all, people are just like, how dare you? And it's like, one has a penis.
Yeah.
And it's like, how dare you? And it's like, I'm not insulting you. And by the way, if you want to be called she and you're a friend of mine, I'm happy to call you. I don't want to hurt my friends' feelings or, by the way, even strangers' feelings. It's not my goal to go out and just like hurt people. So if you want to be a she or you want to be a he or you want to be a they, I'm fine with that.
I'll do the same, but I'll also say I think it's pretty gay.
Well, it's not gay.
In my opinion,
trans.
It's very gay to want that, but if you're a friend of mine, I will do the same. I don't discriminate. Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit, but I think it's fucking gay.
Now, what do you mean? What do you mean by gay?
It's just gay. I grew up in the fucking 80s.
Do you mean stupid or do you mean homosexual?
I mean fun. I mean, it's just like
wow.
It's just a little.
Chad Zumock thinks gays are fun. Everybody,
I think
get him
when you start like just do like change like everything's fine. It's just like
well, you know, like the trans women now are mad at lesbians because the trans exclusionary radical feminists. I guess Dave Chappelle touched on it on his special, but basically, if you're a lesbian who won't date a trans woman, you're hateful, hurtful, denying.
Sure.
And it's just like, no, I don't like people with penises. That's why I'm a lesbian. It's like, but I'm a woman. And it's like, your erection says otherwise.
Yeah. I mean,
so it becomes this weird, and look, I can already see this getting played back on the news. But like,
please play it back. I need some Patreon subscribers.
But like, yeah, I mean, it is different. Like, look, you want to be a woman? You're a woman now? Great. But I'm not going to act like we're just in a...
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
I'm a white male in my 40s.
And we'll never... You know what? That's what they say, too. They'll go like, you'll never get it then. It's like, oh, yeah. So I'm not capable of thought.
But I will say this, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, and I forgive anyone who's offended by this. but I love vagina and boobies. I love it. I don't like dicks.
Way to go out on a limb.
But I'm just saying, I really mean it. But it's frowned upon now that I like having sex with women and boobs and
who's frowning on that?
But it's just I'm not
who's gotten mad at you because you like boobs?
It's the narrative.
No, Chad, I'm not going to let you get away.
It's the narrative that's being painted right now
by who?
You have to do this or you have to like this or whatever. And I'm open minded. I'm cool.
I got to call you out on this one. Who's
Please.
saying that you can't be straight man anymore?
Stephen 4516247
on
Twitter.
That Easter egg motherfucker. Yeah. I know that.
And
guy.
Reddit.
3 followers.
Yeah,
that son of a bitch.
He's got the avatar.
I've never gotten the pressure. I've never felt any pressure against straight people. I don't know what you're talking about.
I said this on Bert Kreischer's podcast. You can go back and listen. I won't. Florentine. I said it's okay to be a straight white male. It's all right. And Bert's like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, all right, yeah. And it was just I can't believe we had to say that. It's okay to be a straight white male. It's all right. It's okay, Hollywood.
Did you see the John Gruden thing?
No, what did John Gruden say?
So John Gruden is the head coach of the Raiders. He was head coach of the Buccaneers when I lived in Tampa. He had just come from the fucking Raiders, where they won a Super Bowl, and then he comes to the Bucs and wins a Super Bowl.
He's a winner.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
He's so yesterday I'm going on stage and I hear this. I read this article in 2011. John Gruden sent an email where he called somebody or he said someone in the NFL who was like a black executive in the NFL had big lips, and he said that in an email.
Sure.
And this motherfucker is about to lose his job. And the Raiders issued a statement, and I always find this the funniest, where they come out and they go, the Raiders organization does not agree with the statements said by John Gruden. It's like, oh, you don't think he has big lips? It's like, is the Raiders organization issuing a statement saying we don't think he has big lips? We disagree. We have lost our fucking minds.
The same franchise, when they were in Oakland, people were getting stabbed in the stands.
I think they have Switchblade Day where they just hand them out.
Literally, people were getting murdered.
It's a bobblehead where the head comes off and it's just, you just stab people.
You're just like, okay, this is what it is.
So then they also said we are currently investigating the issue and deciding which further action to take, which we all know means we're going to wait and see how angry Twitter gets, and how many phone calls we get, or if this blows over. Because tomorrow, if it comes out that another head coach, has been stringing up black people in the locker room, this all goes away. Right. It's all about the news cycle and how much traction it gets. But I love that this fucking facade that an organization has to put out, like, we strongly disagree about the lips.
I'm not taking credit for this, but I had the same thought process, but Bill Burr was very quick to it. How they try to cancel John Wayne. Like, of course. Yeah, he grew up in the fucking 20s and 30s. Like he was in racism. It was straight up racism. Of course. It's a problem.
Yeah, that's why I feel like old people just don't have time to hear the woke complaints of millennials.
Yeah.
Who have literally their Uber Eats account is just hooked up to their dad's credit card. They've never had to do anything for themselves in their whole life. Every girl I've ever dated, their parents pay for their cell phone. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you right now, is from experience, from my years of living, whatever minority, whatever race, this is the best it's ever been for you. I swear to God, I promise.
Well, we do a lot of beating up America. We're the worst. We're so oppressive. And it's just again, take any one of these people who are screaming about how we need to be a socialist country. Take AOC and Bernie Sanders and all these people who are screaming about how we should be socialists, and drop them off in a socialist country. Just pick one. Pick a socialist nation you'd like to go live in for 6 months, and you let me know how it goes. Let's just take AOC over to or communist, let's drop her in China. Let's take her over to Russia. Let's put her in Venezuela. See how you do.
Yeah.
And you see it now in Afghanistan where all the CNN reporters, the women have to wear the fucking hijab and everything. It's like, oh, why do you have to wear that?
They don't want their heads cut off.
Right. But I thought we were the most oppressive country in the world, you fucking pieces of shit.
I've said this, and people listen to my podcast. Maybe not yours, but they know.
Nobody listens to my podcast.
I
don't even have a podcast.
They will now.
I just wanted to feel part of this.
My idol and I will name drop is Chuck D from Public Enemy.
Okay.
One of the most beautiful, intelligent.
The Enemy is your idol.
Chuck D is just a fucking fascinating human being. He inspires me to want to be a good person. He's a nice man who cares about people, and we have different but he's just a good dude. And I've met him and I've had conversations with him, and I was like, and he's a black man. He's my idol. He's a black man, and he's my idol from Roosevelt, Long Island.
Yeah. And
he inspires me every day. And I'm some white dude from Kent, Ohio. Nobody knows who the fuck I am. So I'm just saying, there's all this bullshit. We're causing problems that don't need to.
Right. And then you if you live in New York or LA or any of these places where they tell you everything's on fire, this is the worst it's ever been, we got to fix the country, and then you come somewhere like this and it's like, no, everything's fine. Everybody's just living their fucking life. There's no problem. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just heard on a podcast, I can't credit who it is because I don't remember, but they said, honestly, comedy clubs right now are the safest places to be.
Why?
You can say what you want, unless it's being recorded or whatever the situation may be, but they're not uptight when you're just kind of talking. That's what they were saying. I don't know. I know you ran into a situation where you made a little race joke and it was a problem.
Well, I do this joke, and this joke is 6 or 7 years old, and it's one of my most banger jokes. It always does really well, and it's about how I wish I was black, because black people just carry themselves and are smoother than white people.
Yeah.
Black people can get away with I don't want to give away the joke, but either way, the whole joke is about how black people are much cooler.
Go see Patrick Melton live. Go ahead.
But all the black people are basically cooler than white people. That's the joke. So imagine getting upset at this, because people just hear the word. I said this on the vlog the other day, but people hear the word rape or black people, and they see you're white or a man, and they're just like, you can't talk about that. And it's like, well, this joke's about how rape's really bad, and it's like, well, you shouldn't. It's
right.
No one listens to the joke. No one they hear the buzzword and they're just like, this is bad.
Can I say something controversial?
No. Rape is good.
Rape is amazing. You should try it. No. This is the joke. This is not even a joke. It's an observation. It's coming from Chad Zumock, not Patrick. So if cancel's coming around and you want to use a soundbite, it's me, Chad Zumock. I don't think black people are as cool as they used to be. I'll say that. They're not as cool as Jimi Hendrix. You're not as cool as Run DMC. You're not as cool as Chuck D. You SoundCloud motherfuckers, you fucking followers, you're not as cool. Kanye stinks. LeBron, he's a fucking nerd. They're followers, and it's just it's an observation because I'm inspired by black people, and black people inspired my creativity. I love black people. I love Jimi Hendrix. I love fucking James Brown. I love the Meters. I love the Run DMC. I love them. But this generation of celebrity quote unquote entertainers stink. They're terrible. Sorry. Maybe Kendrick Lamar, you get a pass?
Yeah, but isn't this just becoming old?
So am I racist?
No, I just think this is just being old. This is like how you just stop listening to new music.
You're trying to tell me Lil Nas X is cooler than Nas X?
I couldn't. But I'm old. I don't know. I couldn't name one Lil Nas X song. I couldn't name one.
The old Country Road song that was all over the fucking place. It was the biggest hit in the
How's
world.
It go?
Pull it up.
Hum it.
Let's go to who's your producer? Steve. Rusty, pull it up.
How's it go? Country road, take me home. Is that Lil Nas X?
Who is
to
that?
The place I belong. Lil Nas X, blood in my shoes. Fucking Nike.
It's a pretty good impression.
Is that how he sounds?
Is that Bob Denver?
What?
I'm drawing a blank.
This is how it goes, everybody.
Here, I'm pulling it up right now. Now I'm pissed.
Well, don't. I just tell me how the song.
Let's fuck up your
no,
YouTube.
Go. Will this fuck up my YouTube? I don't know, old man. You think this is YouTube?
well, I know they deplatform and you can't monetize with like copyrighted music.
This is just audio. I'm not putting it on YouTube.
All right.
You put audio only on YouTube?
Sometimes.
All right, maybe I'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can get some hits.
Nobody wants to listen to audio on YouTube.
You'd be surprised. What's your YouTube channel?
Nobody Likes Onions.
You don't remember the song? Oh, shit. Hold on.
Are you out of data?
That's a terrible Wi-Fi in this facility.
All right, cut it out. We don't want to get demonetized. All right. Yeah, I get it. I mean, is that a black man?
Well, that's Billy. This is the remix with Billy Ray Cyrus.
Okay.
This guy right here.
Stop playing music. If I'm going to get demonetized, you tell me, hey, this will demonetize you, and then continue to do it.
Well, I don't know. I think if you could play like,
I've made it clear that I don't give a fuck about Lil Nas X. Turn it off. You're going to get us canceled.
But that's a song. You've heard it before.
I mean, maybe, but I don't think so.
I accidentally hear that song. I'm not looking for
Where are
that
you
song.
hanging out? Hotel bars?
It's just, it's on every bar. The radio, like you're driving through Wichita and it comes on.
Who listens to the radio? And you're tuning in through to new channels every city you drive into?
Like what's going on in the area.
So you tune in a local radio station?
Not on purpose.
How do you accidentally tune it? You're just burying yourself in lies.
You drove from Vegas to here, so you drove the same amount of distance, and you just get bored.
I have the internet and podcasts and music on my phone.
I just try everything. I do all that stuff.
I don't even know if my car has a radio.
Well,
I couldn't tell you where FM is on my... I will never get an emergency broadcast system warning.
Listen, if you're from Cumulus or iHeartRadio or Cox Communications, I think
it's over.
You need to hire me and Patrick as your morning show.
No, I don't want to be on. You can't say anything.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Like, I can't wait to be on a platform where I only get to talk for 6 minutes in between commercials and don't get to say what I want to say. That sounds like an awesome job.
You can have a hot take, though, about... Brian Laundrie.
Most of my hot takes are lukewarm at best.
There it is.
They're just not.
You don't want to weigh in on Brian Laundrie and the Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Well, I don't think it's been
Radar
weeks.
Love and Golden Earring.
Is it? What do you think? Do you think he's dead?
No.
For weeks, you think he's just been running?
I think he's a coward, and cowards don't kill themselves. So I think, he's on his run.
Yeah, what's funny, I think his dad said that he was too much of a pussy to kill himself. His dad said that.
Oh, really?
If my dad said that about me, I'd fucking blow my brains out.
That's hilarious. That's a joke. That's funny.
Imagine your dad going like, I think his dad said that he was too much of a, this is literally what he said, and he probably didn't use the word pussy, but he said he was too much of a coward or pussy to turn himself in or kill himself.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the dude.
Thanks, Dad. Can we get an old birthday card for old dad over here?
Yeah.
Fucking piece of shit.
You raised a good son there. No, it's. I think the guy's. From what I understand, I've been following it closely. I think a lot of people have, but I think he's going to get caught. It's going to happen, or they're going to find him, maybe dead. I don't know. It's going to happen, but I just think he's. You don't come home with the car. You don't live for 11 days at your house.
What kind of parents, like, if you have a fiance that. If your son has a fiance that lives with you, if you have a son and they have a fiance and they go away on a trip and your son comes back with the car alone and the girl's just missing for days, he has to either tell, like, I don't believe that the parents don't know, like, you just let it go. You didn't ask. You're just like, I guess they're on the outs. It's like, no. They have to know something.
And the father,
you would ask, right? You would be like, where the fuck's Flabby Gordito or whatever her name is?
What's Gabby's last name? Petito?
Yeah.
Petito. The father said he had called and left millions of text messages with no response. So that's kind of shady right there. Like, you can't respond. Like, she was living in your home.
Right.
Like, can you just say, like, can you give me something? Like, what did Brian tell you? Like, I understand. So there's obviously, the more and more he runs, the shadier it gets. It just gets more and more shady. But if he's really trying to do the right thing, he would turn himself in. Whatever happened in the mountains, that was then. He has to do the right thing now.
Yeah, because I don't know what the end game is. I feel like he's clearly still in the United States, because I'm sure he's on a no-fly list or something. And if you're in the United States...
Unless he walked across the border to Mexico.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's no fucking...
Or got a raft and floated to Haiti.
True.
I get, like, Florida... I will say this. Florida's probably the easiest place to get out of the country in the U.S.
Yeah. Because where can you go?
Aside from the Texas border, I guess.
Texas border's rough, but where can you go from Florida?
Well, you could just go to the Caribbean, but you can get a boat and just fucking beat it on your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like the Coast Guard stops every boat that leaves out to international waters. So, like, you could get out of the country. I mean, I'm not saying you could drive across the Atlantic, but...
Can I say I'm kind of jealous of Brian Laundrie? Like, he just disappear. I would love to do that. Just get the fuck out and talk to no one ever again and just do whatever.
Well, let's see if you make it back to Florida.
Well, I mean, yeah, I still have a 19-hour drive, so...
I wouldn't be surprised if if Kevin Brennan has a hit out on you right now.
It could. I mean, it could.
Now, are you guys going to squash this? Is it going to be okay?
You told me to. You gave me sound advice.
You were very... I don't want to make you sound effeminate. You were upset.
Yeah, I was. I was annoyed.
I think you think he's your friend.
Yeah.
You guys have been friends for a while. He seems to be upset that you're friends with somebody else. That's the heart of the issue.
I'll say Dave Landau. Go ahead.
Dave Landau. Okay, I didn't want... but you've been friends with Dave Landau forever. Since before you started this
15 years longer than Kevin.
Right. So then you start a podcast with Kevin Brennan, and he finds out you're doing a show with Dave Landau and loses his mind and wants to break up the podcast relationship. Yeah. Now, that's silly as fuck.
Yeah, and petty.
You listen to me, Kevin? You're insane. Knock it off. But I saw you two going at it on Twitter, and I was like... And I knocked on your door and I was like, do yourself a favor and de-escalate.
Yeah.
Walk away from this, because you'll either get to a point where you can't go back because you've just taken it out on each other.
Brian Laundrie.
Yeah, but you have a podcast. A lot of people listen to it. A lot of people enjoy it. And you make money on it, more importantly.
I'm making money for sure, yeah.
So, and you guys seem to enjoy doing it. I heard you in here doing it the other day. So, why throw that away over a stupid argument? And by the way... I have a couple comedy beefs with people, and I have a lot of friends who are mutual friends with those people I have beefs with, and me. And I don't expect those people to take up arms.
Can I give you one example?
For my fights. Yeah.
You're friends with Eddie Ift, and I'm not.
Right.
That's one.
Neither one of us give a fuck. Right? It doesn't affect our ability to hang out or talk.
Right.
It rarely comes up.
Right.
Like, who cares?
Yeah, and you kind of, when I told you, you're laughing at it. Like, you weren't like, oh,
because we're all fucking babies.
I'm
this
team
is
Ift.
I'm not even saying that. I don't know what the fucking beef's about. What I'm saying is comics are egotistical fucking babies.
Sure.
We get our feelings hurt very early.
I'm not disagreeing.
Very easily. We get our feelings hurt. And also, we are proud, stubborn people.
I'm definitely stubborn.
Our tribe is a proud, stubborn people.
My thing is, I cut somebody off, I cut you off.
Right, because it feels like a bitch move to go back, right?
Yeah.
It feels like you're back. But, I don't know. I think friends are worth doing that for. I think, and this is sound gay, as you put it.
Sure.
But if you have a good friend and you have a good thing going, I think sometimes it is worth apologizing. It is worth stepping down. It is worth calming down, and it is worth working it out. And maybe that's just the older I get, because when I was younger, I was the same way. And I've actually hurt a lot of relationships and burned a lot of bridges from being like that. But at the core of that is me not being happy with myself, if you're really honest with it. It's something you see in the situation or the other person that you're not happy with in yourself. And you have to be able to swallow that and work it out. Because I tell people this on stage every night. I've been doing this. It's not a bit or anything, but I've been telling people every night to start fucking being civil to each other again. I've been doing this every night when I pitch my merch. But you see it online. Like, we just don't even know. Again, just unfriend me. Fuck you. Da-da-da for different opinions. And I feel like we're losing our ability to get along with people that think differently than us and who disagree. And we have to, you have to stop. You have to, if you don't do it, it'll just be toxic forever. You're going to run out of people. You're just going to keep starting new podcasts with new people until the bridges burn?
Right.
No offense, Kevin. But I guess when you run a podcast called Burning Bridges, it's fucking on brand.
Well, listen, as a fan of 60 Minutes, I can't think of a better Andy Rooney moment to shut this down with your message at the very end.
Did you ever notice?
And I think I'm going to reach out to Kevin because of this. And
yeah, but I hope he has somebody over on his side. And if he doesn't, Kevin, give me a call. I'll talk you both back to center.
We might bring you as the mediator. That might be good.
Yeah, let's do a Zoom podcast.
That might be interesting as you as the mediator.
Because I barely know you, and I don't know Kevin at all. And I think I'd be a fair arbiter.
Yeah.
And you know what? By the end of it, maybe you guys just gang up on me, call me a fat nerd, and then you're back together.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be the burn. You burn me up.
Yeah, either way, yeah, maybe we bond and ruin my relationship.
Retaliating on me. Yeah. Yeah.
For the people that listen to my podcast, where people can find you, because I know you take these weird hiatuses from Twitter and YouTube. You like disappear for like 2 years and come back.
Yeah.
What do you like the most?
I'm not sure which platform.
YouTube?
I've been doing YouTube trying to take YouTube seriously, and when I say that, I'm not nearly as serious as most people, but who are trying to do YouTube.
And you're doing a vlog right now. And
yeah, so if you search Patrick Melton on YouTube, I'm doing a vlog all this month where I'm like writing jokes. I'm showing the process of me writing jokes, and I'm showing clips of them nightly that I do them on stage, whether they go good or not.
And you bought like a $4,000 camera.
All right, no need to brag.
Well, I'm bragging for you.
But yeah, so Patrick Melton on YouTube. Nobody Likes Onions is the podcast. Check it out. I'm in Wichita this coming week, Looney Bin. I'll be in Little Rock, Arkansas the week after Looney Bin, and then October 27th through 30th I'll be in Oklahoma City, Looney Bin. Come out and heckle.
Patrick's hilarious. I don't put my stamp of approval on people. He's very funny. So follow him on all social media and definitely go see him if you can.
You got a big show with Dave Landau coming up, Tampa Improv.
I'm at the Tampa Improv. If you want to go see me and Dave Landau.
This is my home club.
Sorry, Kevin Brennan. I'll be there the 22nd and 23rd, 4 shows. Pretty sure it's sold out. I don't know, but the Louder with Crowder fans definitely like Dave Landau. And I'm at Side Splitters next week, the 15th and 16th, and then I take a big dump. It's nothing.
Well, and your podcast.
Sit Down Zumock, which you can get on Patreon, patreon.com/Sit-Down Zumock. You can sign up for as little as $3 or as much as $100 and be a $100 sponsor. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do.
What do I get for $100?
I'll plug whatever the fuck you want.
Woo.
Whatever you want.
Asshole.
Your asshole, your agenda, your product, whatever. Let's just push that thing naturally and organically, because this is where it's going. I was in terrestrial radio, and it's a scam. I know salespeople. Didn't
you just beg iHeartRadio to hire us?
I did.
You're like, it's a scam. Give us a job.
Why do you remember things? You're supposed to forget and move on, so I don't look like a hypocrite.
How dare you call me out?
So, yeah, it's Sit Down Zumock. Thank you, Patrick.
I want to do a podcast called Checking Chad, where you just spout off things, and I just have a pen, and I'm like, actually, Chad, let's wind back here. I need you to back that up with some statistics.
That could be my whole life. I constantly backtrack, and I look like a hypocrite.
Fact Checking Chad. That should be your next podcast.
Maybe.
Look, Kevin, if you terminate this relationship, we're starting up Fact Checking Chad. Okay,
yeah,
we got to put a hole in the schedule, and we got to replace it with some comedy. All right, we got to head to the club.
We have a show in about a half hour.
Yeah.
So
how you feeling about it?
I'm fine.
You're better tonight than you were yesterday.
Yeah, I feel better, and it's just I'm gonna mail it.
Do you want to repent for what you did the other night?
We'll save that for part 2 on Zoom.
Holy shit!
All right, guys, thank you for listening.
He really doesn't want me to talk about this.
5-star review.
Wow, he doesn't want me to say
iTunes. Leave a comment.
Listen to the next episode of my podcast. I'll tell you all about it.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.